Okay, so I need to make body panels, and a roof and a hood for this chassis. Um, this is the one from my buggy, but as you can see, the panels are kind of slightly off. So that's one reason why I didn't include the files. But this is how I make the body panels, how I made them to begin with. Super simple, easy. Just get you some tape, place it over the tube work. I rub it on there nice to where I can see the bars through the tape. And the panel is only going to go from here to here. So I will then grab my Sharpie and trace the bars out with the tape. Oh! Fell off the bar right there, but that's okay. Being left-handed has its disadvantages for sure. Ooh. Somewhere in there. And these don't have to be exact. I mean, it's just a piece of tape. You can always cut it and do it again. But I will try and mark from the back side. Usually I have a little paint pen, but I mean, like anything will do. I'll just take the screwdriver, poke a hole through the tape. And then that should be where we need to put our screws. Pretty close. You can just oversize drill those just a little bit to get your body panel to fit. Then we will peel the piece of tape off, and then there you go. We have a body panel that's shaped to that side of the chassis. Then I'll run over here, grab one of these pieces of paper, just because it's handy. Then I'll transfer this onto here. Sid, you're killing me, buddy. Then I will cut it out with some scissors. Quick 5-minute deal. Chop, chop, chop. See how we're left-handed and right-handed, boys? We do it both ways. And then boom, this should, yeah, match the template of the chassis pretty good. So then from there, to take this, I will take the camera. I will get a top-down picture. Ooh, whoa, we fell. We'll get a top-down picture, zoomed out as far as I can, away as far as I can, but zoomed in as close as I can to fill the screen. And then each one of these little squares on this from here to here measures 1 inch. So when I bring it into CAD, I'll try to show you guys that part of it too. I'm not very good at, oh my gosh, filming or doing the screen capture thing. So I guess we'll move over to the computer now and show you how I take this and then turn it into a 3D printed jobby. Real quick, I just wanted to kind of show you guys what you can do with these 3D printed panels. This is all 3D printed in color. So the roof, I had a little bit of an issue with some layer separation, but this is the same way, and same thing with the hood. It's hard to see in the wrong light, but cool thing with these 3D printed panels is that you can put any livery on them that you want. And we're about to go on the computer. I'll show you how to make the simple design. And then if you do have a multicolor printer, this is only 4 colors, but you, depending on how many AMSs or color changes you have, you can do up to like 16 different colors. This is a 20-minute print. Okay, this is like a 2.5 hour print. So just to give you guys a little bit of a gauge between the color and the and this is all the way through. It's hard to show you guys on camera, but if I hold this bad boy up to the light, you can see all the way through the panels, and it looks pretty cool. Almost like a lithophane. Kind of cool. But in order to stop this layer separation, it is ideal to do one solid layer of a solid color, and then you will give a nice backer for everything to adhere to, because right now the time that it takes to change between the colors by purging the thing, I'm assuming the filament cools too much and doesn't have as good of layer adhesion. I also printed this at like a 0.2 millimeter nozzle to try to get the fine details in the writing. So a 0.4 millimeter nozzle will help with the layer adhesion, but you will lose the fine detail. I will try again, but it was difficult with the 0.4 millimeter nozzle to get like this wording down here, and then it can almost see it almost as tires, and then racing, and then the finite lettering here, you can actually read it. But anyway, we'll hop on the computer, I'll show you guys. Okay, I've done this a couple times now, and hopefully we can get it done the first time. Or the third time. So I like to use Fusion to make these body panels. So after we've taken our picture, as zoomed in as we possibly, pretty zoomed in, and in square format, not 4x3, we convert it to a PNG. Come to Fusion. I like to use Fusion because you can use it for free. You can have 10 editable documents, and then if you want more documents, you just turn it to read only and make that one editable, and so you can have unlimited documents using Fusion for free. So that's one little way to get around it. I pay for it, so I like to turn the origin on. I like to draw from the top down. Sorry, I'm getting a couple texties. We're going to create a sketch from the top down. We are going to select insert canvas. We're going to insert it from my computer. We're going to click that body panel that we were doing. And I like to orientate it like so. We're going to hit OK. And then we're going to go to our canvas, hit body panel, calibrate. Usually when you take these pictures, you want a ruler up next to it or some way to measure in real life. I know that these squares are about 1 inch apart, and so now that's going to calibrate our photo to pretty close to the real size. Now I'm going to create a new sketch. This one's going to be called our canvas. And this one is going to be called our panel. This is where we're actually going to draw on our canvas. So you can use fit point spline or a control spline. Yeah, we're going to use the control spline. I just like the control spline better because you can change the dots around, make it do what you want to a little easier. And your dots don't have to be perfectly centered when you first draw them, because you can actually take them and move the points around to get the dots where you want them to. Pull this out just a little bit. Pull this down just a little bit. All right, that's pretty close. Now we have our file drawn. You can add the holes now or later. Same thing as just creating a circle right here. I'm not going to do that just because to keep it simple. Now we can hide our actual canvas, and we have our body panel. So I'm just going to hit E and extrude it 1 millimeter. This is good enough to just go ahead and print right now and slap on the truck. You would export it as an STL or a step file. Before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and one more step farther and show you guys how to put like a logo on here. That does get a little bit trickier. This is a 5-minute deal. The other one's probably closer to 15-20 minutes, depending on how good you get at it. But either way, I'm going to hide those two sketches. I'm going to create a new sketch on this panel. Then we're going to go to find our logo. So we're going to do Vanquish RC logo. This one, when you zoom in, the detail's not very good. So we're actually going to go to the website, see the profile picture, and then actually when we zoom in here, the lines are a little crisper. So we're actually going to save this image as Vanquish logo. So you can use a website to DXF converter. And do it this way. The problem is you never know. The better quality that you start off with the original image, the easier it will be able to trace. So when we download this and try to bring it into Fusion, we're going to have a couple of problems. One, it's going to be massive, and two, the detail is not going to be what we're looking for, because the original image was pretty poor. It's trying to do all the detail on the image is not very good, so it's trying to trace out the ugliness of the line. So this will take a lot of more cleanup. So we're not actually going to use that logo. I'm going to show you how I do it. I own a laser. Lightburn's free for like 30 days, so you could do it that way. I'm going to open it up. We're going to right click on it. We're going to trace it. And so now look, you can see how much crisper our lines are. So the reason why it's having a hard time on the other one is because it's trying to do these blocky squares. So when we zoom in, it sees all these pixels because of it's a PNG. There's a lot of information here. Every one of these squares is a line in data when it tries to draw this. So we can actually move this bar backwards and forwards to change how much of our line is. We're just going to leave it stock at 128. Hit OK, move this out of our way, grab this item. We're going to scale this bad boy down. And then in order to get this sized easier, it's easier to size things in Lightburn than it is Fusion, because when you start having a lot of points and vectors, it really slows down and takes a lot of computing power. So we're actually going to hide our bodies. We're going to actually open up the panel sketch, and we are going to export the panel sketch as a DXF. Oh, we have to save it first. File, save. panels. Now we can export this as a DXF, D side DXF panel. This is going to take a minute to complete, so we'll wait for that to finish. Okay, for some reason, certain things take a long time to download, sometimes they don't. So we'll go back to Lightburn. We'll bring in our body panel, so we know how big we need to make it, the logo. We'll resize our Vanquish logo to fit on our body panel. That fits on there pretty good. So now, I'll just move this out of the way. You don't have to necessarily move it out of the way. Come on now. And then we're just going to highlight just the Vanquish logo. We're going to export that now as a DXF. So we're going to have logo DXF. Go back into Fusion, go back to our sketch. And then we're going to insert our DXF from the computer. This is the one we created in Lightburn. So now it's going to show up in the bottom left corner because that's where we saved it in Lightburn, but that's okay. We'll just leave it there. Now we'll click on this bad boy and we'll right click, move. We'll rotate it 180 degrees. And then we will move it. You see how much vector vertices or whatever we have. There's a lot of points in this, and so it makes it difficult for Fusion to comprehend. But now we will finish the sketch, and now we can bring our bodies back to life. Actually, we'll leave our bodies out. We'll leave the panel sketch out. We'll just highlight our Vanquish logo. Ooh, the Q. For some reason, the Q did not convert over. I gotta figure out why it does that sometimes. Where it does not like the points. I'm just super curious as why it does that. The easiest way to fix this I found is to just offset it by like 0.1 millimeter in or out. 0.01. There we go. Now we should have a closed surface. So that's one way of fixing that pretty quickly. Highlight all this stuff again. We'll make sure that the O is not selected because that's not part of what we want to cut. We're going to hit extrude, and since we made our body panel 1 millimeter thick, we're actually going to go minus 0.8, and we're going to turn our bodies back on. We're going to actually click new body. We're going to hit OK. Then we're going to hit combine. We're going to click on our bodies. We're going to hide our panel. Actually, we're going to hide our panel. Select all those bad boys. We'll hide the origin now because we don't need it. Select all those. Hit combine. Select the body on now to view. And we're going to combine it with this. Everything's selected. We're actually going to keep the tools and we're going to cut. Now, when we hide all of our logo, there's a recess. So this allows us to have 2 millimeters of solid color on the bottom, and then our logo will start printing in color on the top. This will help with like layer adhesion and keep the logo from like popping out of the body panel. And so now we will go back, unhide those, export D side panel. We're gonna export it as a step file. You can do a step or STL. I like step files personally. We'll bring it into Bamboo or our slicer. So now we have our body panel, but you can't see actually the lettering. We're actually going to split into parts. And this will actually allow us to see the lettering. When we click over into objects, now we have our main body panel, and then we have all of our lettering. So we're going to make all of our Vanquish logo lettering black. So change all these to black. There we go. Now we have one panel with a logo on it. We'll check our thing to make sure it's printing good. One thing to print when you're printing things in color is you want to go down here and change this to Arachne. This helps fill the lines more sometimes. Sometimes classic is better. So you'll just have to play around with it depending on how big your lettering is or how tight of a turn you're trying to make with the printer. But now, look at the print. We'll see how we have a solid layer, and then we'll start printing in color. We can send that to the print plate and start printing. I hope this helps you guys out. I'm going to go grab the other one and show you how it matches up to the body panel. All right, now we have the body panel. We have the body panel, we have the chassis, and if we did this right, now this body panel should match this chassis perfectly. I don't know if you can see that, but our holes line up, and so do our chassis. So that's a pretty quick, simple, easy way to make some body panels yourself in CAD. The colored ones are pretty cool too. But not necessary. You can make one of these in what, 5 minutes? Fit your body panel nice and perfect. Now you just got to do the hood and everything. Let me know if you guys like this type of video. If not, I'll get back to like making running videos and stuff. I don't know. I like to tinker around and do this type of stuff. This stuff is super fun to me. I like super custom stuff that nobody else has. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, subscribing. Till next time, peace.